Hello, I'm Stephen Englander, your host as always. Thank you for joining me this evening. On today's show, we're going to comment on the UK petrol shortage. I mean, what is anybody else actually even talking about? The Evergrande collapse, and we're going to have a look at Grant Thornton because they're in a little wee bit of trouble at the moment. But before I do that, just remember that we are accountants, we are bookkeepers, so if you do need any help in that respect, just do feel free to get hold of me. And if you do enjoy watching the show and you want to watch it somewhere else, we're everywhere. So if you want to listen on any particular podcast in any particular area, just go there. If we're not there, let me know and we'll make sure that we are.
They can watch it with their ears if they must.
Yeah.
By clicking the podcast.
That's Hayden's work. God, I always credit Hayden with everything, but it's actually Graham's work getting us everywhere. Don't forget that today, September the 30th, is the last day of furlough. So anybody still on furlough, they're not going to be any more. And sadly, I suspect that if anybody still is on furlough, they're probably not going to have a job to come back to. So just make sure that if you are letting people go, you do it the proper way and be very sensitive about it. But, you know, if you are on furlough, and now's your time to, if you've not really got anything else lined up, there's lots of drivers needed. Petrol shortage, we promised we were going to talk about that. I'm trying not to smile, because it just sends me back to when I was a kid with my mum shopping in the supermarkets, or what were called supermarkets those days, because there was shortages of sugar and jam and all sorts of things, and people were panic buying, and the panic buying petrol. I mean, I've seen people doing it. I can't help but smirk. That a guy, I was in a petrol station. A guy pulled up in a car that can probably do about 400 to the gallon, and he's loading up with petrol tank, little cartons of petrol. I'm thinking, why? It's what you would do for your bike. You don't even have a car, do you, Graham?
No.
But you do that just because you're petrol buying panic. So now they've got to call the army in. As things gone back to normal, because I've not had a problem. I've got a full tank of petrol.
I went to the petrol station near me and I came back and I was like, it's fine. I didn't notice the signs everywhere saying no fuel.
No fuel.
I just walked in, got myself an energy drink.
My dad's having a good time. One of his bits of enjoyment at the moment is driving around all the petrol stations, seeing the queues, because he's got an electric car. So he likes that, But
no, I'm a smug cycle short wearing bicyclist.
Yeah, but honestly, it's the people get so caught up in the slightest bit of media. Just say to the media, go and promote Accounts Direct, then we might get some clients. What do you reckon?
They want to say there's a shortage of accountants.
There is.
Eh?
There has. Do you know what? In the past 4 or 5 years, I haven't noticed any new accountants opening up. I've seen loads of smaller firms merging or going out of business, or just servicing a dwindling client base, but I've not seen any new ones opening up because there's so much legislation, so much compliance. It's just awful. But we're talking about petrol, aren't we? Did you mention people are actually filling up with the wrong fuel because they're panicking? So they're putting diesel in the tanks instead of petrol. Yeah, no, we shouldn't laugh.
No,
but it's just this thing with people desperate to buy petrol and the panic buying because they think it's going to run out. It's got its basis in branding, It's what branding do. If you, how do you get people to buy your product when everyone else has got the same? Because you don't brand it and you can control the supply. So when there's not very much in the shops, people think, oh, I'm running out. What am I going to do? But that's where the strength of a brand comes in. I think branding's a fascinating area.
That's like that drum and bass record seller. And he sells records by telling people it's going to be banned. It's going to be banned. Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah. But the petrol shortages, maybe they want to get rid of some old stock. I don't know.
That's the conspiracy theory. Because E10's coming in.
Oh, the new version of petrol, the new grade, yeah.
And if you've got an old car, it's going to ruin your car, apparently. Right. It might not be compatible. A lot of motorbikes are having a problem.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The conspiracy theory is that they had so much gas left over from the pandemic because nobody was going out and using the cars. It was all going to go off. So this was they engineered this to get rid of it all.
I don't believe that's true. I think there's just lots of dickheads out there. And as far as drivers are concerned, I was listening to an interview where they were saying that at the DVLA, there's like 250,000 applications for renewal or just generally get the licenses through. And with DVLA being on strike for a little while, things haven't been processed. So we've actually got all the drivers that we need. They just haven't been processed through the system. Who knows? Who knows? But I'm sure with furlough coming to an end and visas going out to people from Europe in general, we might be able to get some drivers, and if DVLC process a few more. So the crisis will end. It will. And if it doesn't, we've got the buses, haven't we? Yeah.
Can I just jump in?
Yeah,
some
please
shout
do.
outs to people watching.
Okay.
Happy Dog's in.
Hi.
He's not happy that you've not shaved.
No, I was going to, and I just didn't have the energy.
We got Cup of Tea, we got Colin, we got Alan, we got Richard.
Yep.
We got Charlie. Who's next to me? Charlie's next to me in the chat.
It's that Charlie. Oh, he's the one on your right, the right Charlie. Yeah.
We've got Mark as well. So hello everyone.
Hi everybody. Thanks for joining me.
And there's a couple of people just sitting there silent,
not saying anything.
It's
the silent but deadly ones.
Let me know you're here.
You got to remember we do film through different media. So these people, the ones we're looking at now, are on alt feed on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm monitoring both the chats.
Okay.
You can say hello wherever you are.
So we've covered we've covered petrol. I don't think it'll become so bad that it's another excuse for not having supermarkets shelves being stocked properly. But there's always an excuse. And I think that's what it is. I think we're looking at ways of blaming things. It's nothing to do with COVID. It's nothing to do with Brexit. Because I remember speaking to some clients before Brexit, before it was even an idea. And they had problems getting drivers for their companies. So it's been a problem that's been going on for a while now. Okay, well, we were going to have a look at Grant Thornton, weren't we? With Patisserie Valerie.
Sorry, I don't know what that is.
You don't know what Patisserie Valerie is? With your stomach.
It sounds like a
the
Greg's.
cake shop.
Right.
It was cakes and coffee shops. And was it last...
Greg's then?
No, it's Posh Greg's, yeah. But a little while ago, they sort of went out of business because there was some fraud and there was some naughtiness going on within that company. And Grant Thornton were the auditors, big firm of accountants. I think it's the 5th biggest in the country. It's one of the 13th biggest in the world. So you're not talking about a little backstreet firm of bookkeepers. And they've been getting the audit wrong, and they've been accused of all sorts of things, that it's their fault that the company failed, which it's not their fault the company failed. They just didn't do the audit very well. But what's interesting, audit is something that you have a very particular tick box of things to look at, and they failed to look at core things like asset accounts and sales ledgers and cash accounts and all the sort of things that we do on an everyday basis with everyone as a matter of course. We don't need to be being paid hundreds of thousands of pounds and more to perform an audit. But this is what accountants do. But I wasn't really going to talk about Grant Thornton because people are people. I was just going to mention about audits. I mean, a lot of clients, a lot of companies don't even know what an audit is. And what in a nutshell, an audit is a third-party firm or person who is looking at the results of the company to prove and to vouch for them being correct. So if you look at a set of accounts that have been audited, then theoretically they should be beyond reproach and they are absolutely correct. And you might wonder, well, isn't that the case if you produce accounts anyway from any firm of accountants, or even do themselves? Are we basically saying if a firm of accountants haven't audited these accounts, then your accountant is potentially a liar, and so are you? And in many ways, yeah, that's pretty much what we're saying. But why do we want an audit anyway? What value does an audit give to your business? Well, people often make decisions on whether they want to work with you, lend you money, give you stock, even come and work for you. It may be even buy your company, and they look at the accounts to see whether what you're offering is viable for them. So an audit does actually add value beyond just giving HMRC some assurance that you're paying your taxes properly. So many firms do actually pay for an audit or have an audit, even if they don't actually need one, even if the government say you're not big enough that you have to have an audit. So I thought I'd get that in about audits. I mean, does that make sense to you, Graham? No, you're confused, aren't you?
I am very confused right now.
You are confused.
It's a miracle that any of this is going, to be honest.
I thought I'd get it in.
Never mind me following all that.
No, I think it is an area.
Is it something I need to worry about?
I think it's something that every firm on the planet needs to consider, that their accounts are believable and it adds faith to people looking to invest in that business. I have clients all the time coming to me wanting a mortgage, wanting finance, even wanting to sell the business. And it's a case of how credible are your accounts. Now, if we've prepared the accounts, they're credible and we give all the supporting schedules to prove it. But how does someone that doesn't know us or know you know that the accounts are sort of telling the truth, reflect a true and fair view, as they say? So if anybody would like to talk to me about audit or about how it can be advantage to them, even if you're a sole trader and sole traders don't need to publish audited accounts, it might be an idea to talk about it, especially if you're looking to sell the business or raise money. So does that help a little bit?
Yes.
Now,
yeah, because when I think of audits, I think, oh, you've done something wrong, like this thing with Grant Thornton.
Yeah.
But actually, if you're going to develop and grow, then
it's an important part of the business. Yeah. With Grant Thornton, going back to them, it reminds me going back many years. I don't know if you all remember Enron, when Arthur Andersen, sort of another one of the biggest firms in the world, was caught up in the corruption of Enron, the energy company. And they ended up going out of business because they were very, very naughty. And then they tried to destroy evidence. So I'm saying, just to show a little bit of support of Grant Thornton, if you would like a shredder, I can get you one cheap. I just thought I'd mention that. Is that okay with that particular? Does everyone understand what's gone on? Does anybody care?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you were talking to me before, because we're going to change topic now. Evergrande.
I've been whispering about this for weeks.
You have. A Chinese construction firm that have got the fingers everywhere. They own property, they own health clubs, they own insurance companies, everything, and they're in a bit of trouble. They've not been able to pay back some of their loans, and what they've been doing is basically having a lot of the people that work for them invest and put deposits down, and they've not been able to pay that back on demand. So there's lots and lots of problems out there. How will it affect UK business? Well, if you remember a few years ago, we had the problem with Lehman Brothers, the bank that went bankrupt, and it created a sort of credit crunch where the banks and financial institutions didn't want to lend any money, and the stock market dipped, and there was no one doing any business, and everyone thought the world was going to end. That's the credit crunch, as it was called, is perhaps the worry that that might affect us at the moment. Personally, I don't think it will. I think that when you owe a few £1,000s, people will put you out of business. But when you owe billions, I think they think twice before they put you out of business. So the chances are the Chinese government or some big banks or property companies will get in and bail them out in some way. Not like you, is it, Graham, that owes the local chippy a few quid and...
How dare you? Wait, now you say that.
You do, don't you?
I do owe one of the shops 5p, and I totally forgot. I swore I'd bring it in next time.
Why would you owe them 5 pence?
Because I was 5p short. Why else? What, do you think I just go in and borrow 5p? You've got 5p for us, mate.
I actually owe the sandwich shop just round the corner 2 quid.
Do you?
Yeah.
Never lent me money.
The woman there didn't know how to use the card machine. So she was like, just bring it in next time.
Oh, they're lovely there.
Do you know, should I just jump to that problem with card machines and cash?
What?
Just cash. We one of the topics I was talking about a few weeks ago, because I was with a client, and they've actually got a problem. And it's not just them, it's all over the country, that people are taking cash. Did you wave then? Oh, sorry. I thought Hayden was waving at me. They're actually taking cash from customers, but the banks won't take it. The suppliers won't take it. Nobody will take cash anymore. You go to the bank with a few £1,000s on a regular basis, and they start asking, where's this money come from? And it's not like it's cash under the table cash. It's cash that's been recorded through books. It's just the physical handling of cash has become so difficult that people are problematic. You can't even spend it, can you?
I couldn't get a Domino's the other day. I was
A
very
Domino? What's a Domino?
Domino's, the pizza.
Domino's.
Yeah, I couldn't get
Why,
one.
why do you call it Domino's?
Card only it
It's
was.
because you like demeaning people, don't you? Yeah, but it is card only. Everything's card only. And I was saying to this gentleman with his business, and he was saying that he supplies, well, whatever he supplies. But his customers tend to stand the markets, and the people that buy off his customers, the public, come along and give him cash. And I said, I don't understand. If they're going in to get cash, they've got to go to a card machine, draw the card out, and these people might have drawn that card out from a cash machine from Tesco's. So they're spending on their debit cards and credit cards in Tesco's, but then they're drawing the money out in cash to come and buy this stock. So the solution was that we start introducing his customers so that they can get credit card machines. And that might be a solution. If we've got to accept that cash is disappearing, the government don't want it, nobody wants it, even a few builders who were the last sort of place that refuses cash, they don't want it either. Nobody wants cash. What do we do? So the answer is make sure that if you're in a business-to-business environment, start educating your customers to take their sales on credit card machines. And if you have a problem with that, I can introduce you to people that will help them set up card machines. You might even earn a few quid yourself. And if you're a retailer, then obviously you want to encourage more and more cash machines to come in. But it is a problem. It is, isn't it?
It's out of control, yeah.
It's amazed me how quickly this cash issue, I mean, we've seen it coming for years, but cash is cash.
It's sad though, like have you seen the things like when they reopened the pubs recently?
Yeah.
And there's stories about, particularly older people sat there alone, finally get to go out, and they because you have to order with the app and pay online, they're just stuck.
They're struggling with it,
They're just literally.
Well, that's a
sat
different
at
thing.
tables.
That's not just about cash, but it's not the government. It's just banks won't take the cash, and therefore people won't. I mean, I've never really been the type of business that gets paid in cash, but if I just don't see cash at all anymore now. Don't know what to say. People associate cash with being bent, but. Yeah. But then you ask the question as well.
Hasn't it, as well?
Yeah.
'Cause it used to be that credit and all that was like, well, I'm not taking a digital payment off you. What on earth are you talking about?
No, it's true. But then you think that cash. It's why do people have cash? I mean, all our staff, everybody gets paid through the bank. I don't really know anyone that gets paid in cash anymore. So where do people get cash from? So it's either money they've got perhaps from years and of saving at home, because a lot of people don't trust banks, let's go with that one, or they're going to the banks and actually drawing it out. I mean, so obviously some businesses still take cash. I bought a pack of crisps before.
There's quite a few suggestions in the chat, but I don't think we want to read any of them out.
Well, if they think that's not rude.
There's certain nighttime adventurers that will always take cash from you. Of various kinds.
I wonder what's going to happen in that field, though. Do you think they're going to walk around with a card machine?
I don't know. Well, Bitcoin.
Yeah, but there's certain industries that do lend itself to cash. But what's going to happen in that area? What are you going to do when they're not taking cash anymore? Mind you, they pay you, don't they?
It's Cash App, PayPal, things like that. It's all fine. None of it ever needs to hit you.
You like the street, don't you?
Oh, I do, yeah.
Do I know?
Oh,
Muggers take cash.
the feel of it, the wind and the rain. Oh, the smells. Steve,
I don't know what to
smells.
say. Talking about, it's not really talking about that. Did you hear about that guy that actually there was this kid bullying his little girl at school, and he went round to the boy's house and threatened to cut off his ears with what they call a machete? Would you do that if someone was threatening your kids? Would you go for it?
I'll tell you off camera what I said, but I have said very rude things, right? In 4-year-olds' faces, yeah, because they were messing my little girl around, yeah.
Don't think rude's quite the word.
I've said very aggressive, scary things that made them shiver.
But you are quite aggressive and scary anyway.
Oh, am I now? That's nice. It's better than harmless or perverted.
So what do you think of this just going back to business, What do you think of Morrison's, this new buyout? Do you know the new buyout with what is it? You looked it up for me before. Fortress and CLAYTON.
Yeah, Fortress and CLAYTON.
DUBILIER and Rice are now bidding in a proper auction to buy Morrison's.
That must be a war of love, because Morrison's is a good business, isn't it? And they've
Well, if we can trust their audited accounts, perhaps they are.
well they've hooked up with Amazon as well. They've been linking more and more with Amazon, so you can
That's what's going to happen, isn't it?
you can get a weekly shop via the Amazon website, but it's all Morrison's.
No, I can see the advantage of all these firms linking up, but especially across seas. But many years ago, I used to be a business transfer agent. I used to work for a company that were agents for selling businesses, and they do manipulate things. And I'm just thinking that to auction businesses in a normal traditional auction way, where people can bid on businesses, could be quite a good way of selling a business quickly. What do you think? Have you got bored now?
You know,
are you ignoring me? No, I'm just saying.
When I'm talking, it's because I'm doing something technical. So saying, what do you think?
You're correcting something that you buggered up on.
It's the worst possible thing you could say.
No, I'm just thinking that auctioning businesses off, like you'd auction cars, or you'd auction stock, or you'd auction whatever you want to auction.
Yeah.
I think it could be a good step in the future.
I think it's exciting. Everyone gets
I'd like to do that.
And
we could actually use our new event place, and if people want to auction off their businesses, we could have a special auction time where we can film it live and people can bid, and it's a good way of quickly getting rid of a business without estate agents and business transfer agents interfering. You've lost interest in that one. I think that was not one that was for you, was it?
I was actually listening then.
I don't know.
You're not reading me very well tonight, are you? Hey? We were supposed to be Morecambe and Wise.
I'll go on to something. I'll go on to something that I know your heart's there. Netflix, very successful company, very successful model. And one of the great things about Netflix is that they've got a fantastic customer base and they've got a great product, but they're coming to the end of what they can sell. There'll always be new customers coming on board. There'll all be more programs coming. But sometimes what the best way to go forward is to keep doing what you're doing, but maybe add another stream on. So what are Netflix doing? They're now going to go into the game business, where not only can you can watch a video, but you can now play games, and obviously that will be an extra subscription. And I think it's a great way of expanding your business with the same customer base. But they're not really games people, so they're looking to take over some of the tech companies that actually manufacture game. So it's great. They've got the audience, they've got the marketing, they've got the customers, they've got everything, and now they're taking over a game developing firms, which will give them all the games to go and manage and run and whatever they need to do. But I'm not a games player, so I don't know much about them. But you got so excited before when I mentioned I was going to mention it.
First thing that's important to know about video games is you don't see them on TV and movies very much, because TV and movie companies don't want to advertise their competitor. So it's an industry that's actually bigger than the film industry, and yet people don't really know about it. It's this quiet.
You don't realise how big the games industry is.
It's huge. Yeah. Like the example before,
was it Batman? Not Batman.
No. Star Wars sold for less than $4 billion.
Is it Star or Star?
Star Wars.
Sorry, I'm just checking.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Sold for $4 billion. Bethesda sold for $8.5 billion.
Wow.
So the guys that make janky,
so it's considerably bigger.
Yeah, and they're not even that good games, really. You know.
I mean, there's the odd good one.
Oh yeah, they are. But in terms of the value and all that, I can see why Netflix are getting on it. Amazon actually have just released New World, which is a huge game.
Right.
You can get naked, bikinis,
here again,
and you can crawl through the woods.
I was just saying it's a good business model. It's like you know when you go on a train, you can how do they sell? Take more money out of you, because it's the same train, the same journey. So they have first class, second class, and wherever you sit. It's the same thing, isn't it? It's selling more to the same audience. It's introducing new products, new ideas. I just think it's very
rumours
good.
as well, and I know you don't know this guy. There's rumours that Netflix are involving Dr. Disrespect at the moment, which is huge. Like,
Is that like Doctor Dolittle? It's like Doctor Who.
It's
like Dr. Crippen.
He's almost the Doctor Who of the gaming world, yes. But he's been there since the beginning. He knows everyone. He knows everything. He knows trends. If Netflix are working with him, it's because they're going to make some big moves into the industry. And you might be sat there watching video game streams before you know it, and you won't even know why.
Video game. I probably won't. I just like watching.
They'll sell it to you. You'll turn on Netflix one day and you're like, oh yeah.
I'm not.
Oh.
I'm just can't be bothered.
Oh,
with
he just got to that castle. I want to see how he does.
Do you know, if I watch television, I just want to sit there and relax. I don't want to actually be playing games.
No,
It's just like working. I'd rather just do some work.
No, you won't be playing the
Watching.
game.
Oh.
You'll be
You
watching.
watch-
Oh, I'll be watching people playing
You
games.
enjoy someone else doing it, and there's a narrative there, and you get involved.
You're getting too much onto another subject. You get very excited about it, aren't you?
Well, this is it.
I can't do that.
The amount of money that Netflix have got. This
Yeah.
is like something.
You're
that's gonna
getting to
explode.
voyeurism, and I'm just talking about another line of income
Well,
stream.
essentially, it's just watching a comedian play the game.
Yeah.
Like Limmy's one of them.
Okay. Don't know what you're talking about.
He
but
doesn't care. He doesn't know who he is.
I was going to say that if you're going to go to Europe, if you're going to go to the EU, you've now got to buy a sticker, don't you, for your car with GB on it and your registration number. And I think the worry here is that you're going to have to go to places like Halfords to get them, but you know, there might be queues and they might not be able to deliver the stickers properly. So we might have a problem. What?
Chaos.
Okay.
Chaos in the streets.
You like anarchy,
A
don't you?
£1.50 sticker. It's going to be madness. Imagine the tunnel and all that. It's going to
Yeah.
be. Is the tunnel even open, or did we?
But you need a sticker on your car now.
There's going to be hundreds.
So you're
of
going to go
people
to
there
Europe.
going, "Oh."
You need a sticker, and that's you know, if they're made in this country, it's probably going to be a bit cheaper because the pound has dropped quite a lot. It's down to about $1.30-$1.35, which is quite low. So that's quite bad if you're importing stuff because it makes it more expensive. But if you're exporting or manufacturing, it makes your products quite a bit cheaper. So if you are planning to export, now's a good time because the currency is quite low. So in other words, people buying your stuff get more for the money. So it's got to be good. In fact, we've got an import-exporter in the audience tonight who will probably nod. Do we get a nod there? Yeah, he's nodding. Do you know, people buy a lot of crap, won't they? There's lots of things that people will buy if you get your marketing right. And I was like...
As an unrelated topic.
Yeah,
by the way,
because
that's not-
I've mentioned the
that's not a
import.
little dig there. We got one over there. By the way, people buy anything, won't they? Eh?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. No, but I was just saying, people, if you get the marketing right and you find the angle right, there's loads of things you can sell. And I'm always looking at unusual or sort of different ideas. Now, we found a picture, didn't we, of Hayden when he was younger and he had hair. Did you put it up? But, you know, this is a firm that's making dog wigs for dogs. I think it's really, yeah, I mean, if you can sell wigs for dogs, what can't you sell? No? Yeah? I just thought
I'll sell anything for you, mate. Anything. Apart from accountancy.
Oh, just going back to cash. cash for a minute. Just, did you know, like all the £20 notes now have become these plasticky things. You just a quick warning: if you do have any cash of the £20 notes that are not the plasticky things and they're a bit older, they won't be legal tender as from this time next year. So you've got a year to get rid of them, or bank them, or do whatever. Because after next year, you'll only be able to put them in the bank and exchange them for the new ones. So I just thought I'd mention that, just as a warning. Have you got any £20 notes under your mattress, Graham?
It's the only thing I've got in there.
I don't believe that.
No, I've got
I
water.
bet you've got Dazzle or Razzle from,
No, I've got.
from being
I'm a
16.
prepper. I've got food and water and weapons.
I wish
Feels
I had
like that,
20
doesn't it?
quid.
I'm ready to
You
go.
wish you had £20. Yeah. But I just thought I'd mention it because this time next year, the old £20 notes are gone. If it's not a plastic one, you're not going to have it. And I think I'll just finish off with this little bit of. I was watching. I get these sort of videos sometimes about businesses and what the new trends are and how they're doing well. And they're giving this caveat, this warning, that firms that don't use data properly are not going to survive. And I can see where they're coming from, because I've always maintained that within your business right now, you've got everything you need to have everything you want. And I think a lot of that is in your database of customers and database of suppliers. And what you need to do really is make sure you've got contact details and history details of all your customers and even potential customers and suppliers, everybody you know, and then you can do what they call data mining and have a look at who is best suited to introduce a particular product to, what time, even down to some things like dentists do. You know, they send you an appointment card because they know you're due for a checkup. Mechanics could do the same thing with MOTs. You know, if you were a restaurant or a cafe or a bar, you could be sending out special invitations to wish people a happy birthday and invite them and their family and friends to come, where maybe the birthday boy or the birthday girl gets something, a nice bottle of wine or something on the house to celebrate. But you know, you've got a lot of information in your database, and if you haven't got one, now would be a good time to get one. Have you ever had an invitation to from a wine bar or a pub to go down and celebrate your birthday with them?
Yes.
Works, doesn't it?
Yeah. It does. And you know what? There's a pub in Droylsden. First time I went in, they gave me a free pint, and I went in for about 3 more years.
Yeah.
Always waiting for that next free pint.
You never got one.
Never got one.
Yeah.
But I always thought, I'll get one tonight, definitely.
Yeah, that's not what I was talking about. I'm talking about working a database.
Yeah.
Not getting a free pint.
No, it just reminds me of it.
Actually, a lot of people use giving a free pint or giving something free as a way of collecting data.
Yeah.
And that's what we're about.
It's excellent. Please give us your emails.
Do you have a quote of the day?
Yes, I do. Just before I go on to it, though, because we are wrapping up the show now, it's 2 minutes over. Thanks to everyone for offering money for Charlie. You mentioned...
Who's offered money?
For 20 quid.
Where? I didn't see that. Where's mine?
It's on the chat. No, I don't. They don't want to see your feet, Stephen. They want to see his feet specifically.
Well, whatever works.
They said they'd cover the cost.
I'll be your
of that
agent,
sandwich.
Charlie.
Yeah.
So yes, the quote of the day this week is: "Don't let yesterday take up too much of today," and that's Will Rogers.
Don't let yesterday take... You mean don't dwell on crap?
Yes, don't linger.
Yeah, but you've got to measure what's happened yesterday and the day before. You've got to measure the history, because your business is in its history. So it's got a two-pronged bit of shit in there, but a bit of, you know, don't dwell on the negatives.
All the best things are right and wrong at the same time. Bit of philosophy for you there, Stephen.
That's the Dow sign, isn't it? Where you've got the black and the white and the little bit of the other and the other. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll be around next week, and that's it. Thank you. Good night.